IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast. Joining me on this cyclonic day, I should say, is Chiranjeev via phone call. So we could not be in the studio. So this has been done via phone call from both of us. So bear with us. The quality is not as good as the other days. Big news, big news, big news. So as we did talk about the Calcutta Football League getting interesting and getting closer to the title race, and it was difficult to predict who's got the upper hand. But then this happens, something that it shouldn't have happened in the first place. It's a shameful incident on part of whoever's done it. So we hear that after the game between East Bengal and Hooligans, the fans or whoever had come to watch the game have vandalized the gate and some property of Mohun Bagan. Now this is utter disrespect for your opponents, for your rivals when everything is going well. People are talking about how close the title race has become, and then such a thing happens. It's just a sad day for all football fans to witness this.
Yesterday we were talking about how positive and happy that episode was, and of course something like this was going to happen right afterwards. I'm just sad at this point because look, so often we heard about East Bengal and Mohun Bagan fans clashing with each other, but it has rarely ever happened that the supporters of one club have vandalized the other club, and that's what happened. There was stone pelting. So let's get the narrative straight. From what East Bengal fans are saying is that they won the game, like East Bengal versus Hooligans. Great game, 5-0 win for East Bengal. So after they were coming out, they heard some Mohun Bagan fans who were inside the Mohun Bagan club premises. They were apparently insulting East Bengal, and that's what sort of kicked off the altercation between two sets of fans. There was some pushing and shoving, and some punches thrown and stuff. And the bad part was the stone pelting. Okay, apparently, so what East Bengal fans are saying is that Mohun Bagan fans threw stones from inside the club and they retaliated. So that's the story they are saying, okay?
Yeah.
But Mohun Bagan fans have a very different story to tell here. What they're saying is that there were a group of Mohun Bagan fans who were doing one of their social projects. I think it was about giving out clothes to the needy or something like that. So they were holding a meeting and probably setting up for the event. And that's when East Bengal's match got over. And both the clubs are like, it's a 5-minute walk from one club stadium to another stadium. So a lot of the East Bengal supporters were walking past Mohun Bagan when on their way back home after the match. And at this point, some East Bengal fans allegedly and this is what some of the female supporters of Mohun Bagan have said, and this is what makes this probably one of the worst incidents of fan altercation I remember in recent times. Apparently, some female supporters of Mohun Bagan fans were teased and grabbed by some East Bengal fans. And that's
shameful.
It's utterly. I just don't have words for this, man. Whoever did this deserves to freaking rot in jail for if this is what happened, man. And multiple women supporters have come out and said that some girl was grabbed, the Mohun Bagan fan, and then they were insulted, harassed by some Bengal fans, and it went to the extent that some East Bengal fans I think even if this is through some, the club should disown these people. Apparently they pulled down their pants to insult and incite the women supporting Mohun Bagan.
That is just way too far going. No, this is not even football rivalry. It just brings bad name to healthy rivalries that we've seen over the past. And I don't understand. What is the end result of people doing all this?
I don't know. I just don't get it, man. But it obviously did not end there. So let's say some 20-30 Mohun Bagan fans were there, and let's say a couple of 200-300 East Bengal fans who got involved in the situation that was created. I'm pretty sure it was started by a handful. Like, it could not have been more than 5-6 miscreants who started it off. But the moment the situation begins and you have words coming back and forth, obviously the Mohun Bagan fans were not silent. They were insulting them back or shouting at them, whatever. This is where it got ugly. Apparently some Mohun Bagan fans brought out, let's say, bamboo sticks from inside the club and tried to drive the East Bengal fans away. Some flags were torn on both sides, and then the stone pelting began. And when that happens, at the end of the day, after a few minutes, the police had to step in to disperse the crowd. But the gate is broken. The Mohun Bagan sign was broken. The insignia that is emblazoned on the outside the wall, that has been tarnished. This is property damage. This is vandalism. This is crime.
Yeah.
It's not.
It becomes a police case. It is a police case. Yeah.
It's not even like online you just curse at each other or during the match. Even like a derby match, people say bad things to each other, but it's happening in the heat of the moment. Nobody really takes it that seriously. But this is, you're attacking another club's home. I am a Mohun Bagan fan. First time I went to East Bengal club, I was already a journalist, so I went in that capacity. Before that, I avoided that place. But when I walked into East Bengal, I was walking in with respect. Just because this was somebody's home, right? And this is a great rival, and you go in there with the sense that there are people, thousands and millions of people who love that place, who identify with that place, and who have an emotional connection to that place. How can you vandalize that place? It is beyond me, man. I would never, speaking as a Mohun Bagan fan who gets angry at East Bengal from time to time, I would never ever disrespect an East Bengal flag or a jersey or the emblem or a single brick in that club. I would never show disrespect to that club, because I know what happens to me emotionally when somebody shows disrespect to my club.
Yeah.
Okay,
and the action was actually uncalled for. There was nothing that was required. It did not require even provocation. So whoever has done this obviously has not done in their senses, and to the extent of that, it's gone beyond boundaries of acceptance. So this is gone more towards a crime. It can be stated as a clearly defined crime, and whoever's behind this must be given the.
And this is what we're gonna see now. The most watched video about East Bengal Mohun Bagan yesterday was this Mohun Bagan supporter, this girl, narrating the incident, and she was afraid. She was scared. Is that what we want? I went to a couple of Mohun Bagan games, and I was so glad to see that dozens of girls are coming out, school age girls or college age girls coming out in groups, and they even have a supporters club called Lady Mariners, which is an all women's Mohun Bagan supporting club, and they come and take a major role in leading the cheer for the team when the matches happen. So at a time when things are changing for the better and we're having renovations in the club, they're going to build like toilets and make it easier for with more and more women, safer for women to come. Like this has been a big criticism of football for the last 2 decades, that it's too unsafe for women, it's too violent a place for women to really feel comfortable in or welcome in. And all that is changing. You have East Bengal getting more and more women supporters. You have Mohun Bagan getting more and more women supporters. And you perpetrate a crime or harass women when all this is happening. You're ruining it for everybody.
Yeah.
Is that what FIFA or AFC needs to see?
Yeah, really, no. At a time when the world is watching us and we are all over the news trying for all the football fans are wanting to know what is the footballing scene in India, how are rivalries happening. Mohun Bagan in East Bengal are something that people are aware of in the world, and this has gone to a whole new low level.
Yeah.
This cannot be even talked about as an example for someone to look up to, because this is gone beyond boundaries of acceptance, and I hope whoever is behind this, I'm sure even East Bengal, the Aizawl fans will not be very pleased to know about it, because the video itself is so clear that it shows the East Bengal fans doing this. But whoever's done this, I'm sure they might not be respectable fans of the club themselves. These are those violent hooligans they've done. Whoever's behind this. But let's hope that the ones who have done this are caught and they are brought to justice.
Yeah. See, this is the problem. Most fans, like the majority of the millions that identify as East Bengal or Mohun Bagan fans or care about the club, would never stoop to this level. Yeah. But it takes just that one bastard to really bring everything down for everybody. Just whoever, I think it was last season when, in the middle of last season, some East Bengal fan or some club fan had said some online threats towards Mohun Bagan, right? And then the Mohun Bagan officials did an FIR, and the guy almost got arrested. Had to spend the night in the police station, and later he asked for forgiveness, and the whole thing, the case was withdrawn after that. I thought just for online nastiness, given how much bad words are said online, that was overreaction. It should not have gone to the police. But this is a police case, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
And that's what happened. Afterwards, Mohun Bagan fans went to the Esplanade police station. They registered case against some people who were identified in the East Bengal crowd. There are videos of the incident that were submitted as evidence. Today there's going to be a further discussion between police and this time the Mohun Bagan officials are also getting involved, because there's a case of harassing women. There's a case of inciting riot or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're calling it riot or just simply disturbing the peace.
Disruption of peace. There was we talked about such good atmosphere. Such intensity. This was gearing towards one of the best CFLs that we've seen in recent past. And such an incident happens. You just don't want to get into those details, but then we have to, because it needs to be brought to everybody's notice what has happened over there.
And by the way, the reason East Bengal fans Mohun Bagan officials are getting involved is because there is a property damage case as well, right?
Yeah.
So this is bad. I mean, somebody could go away for years here, 2-3 years. Do you seriously is that what you're proud of? If tomorrow or 1 month later a judge a news headline comes out that East Bengal fan jailed for such and such crimes? Especially when these players, these people who did this were wearing red and yellow. Aren't you ashamed to wear your club's colors and do this? Like, how you bringing shame upon your own club. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
Seriously, man, I'm just fed up of this. And by the way, Sunday we have Kolkata Derby. Okay, and it's not even Salt Lake Stadium. It's going to happen in Siliguri. And what happens when they do the derby at Siliguri? It involves a whole night of travel, and you have an entire like 200-300 kilometer stretch of roads where violence can happen. Even the last Mohun Bagan East Bengal game, like I think that happened in Siliguri, that was during I-League. On the way back, some fans were attacked. Some East Bengal fans were attacked by Mohun Bagan fans. Some Mohun Bagan fans were attacked by East Bengal fans. And some clashes happened on the trains. A bus apparently got stoned on the way when they were crossing a village that was, usually you have villages which are completely partisan. One village is mostly East Bengal, the other village is mostly Mohun Bagan. And they saw like club flags and they attacked the bus. That happened just that was maybe the title was on the line, and that was just footballing tension that was there. Now you have a match that will decide the league. Whoever wins the derby wins the league. A draw, then East Bengal wins the league. But doesn't matter. Both teams will go for the win. And you have this incident right before that. Like, people who will go to Siliguri their lives will be in danger now. And how many police can you give? How much protection can you give? You can protect them in the stadium. You can protect them in the railway station. What happens after the train leaves?
Yeah.
So, just such irresponsibility, man.
It's just very, it just makes us even more sad, even more angry to know that such fans exist. Because, this is not...
What if somebody dies? What if somebody dies on Sunday? That's my question. Then the people who did this, will you have this on your conscience for the rest of your life, that you caused this, that you triggered this? Just freaking, man, I hope, in England they have these systems, where if a fan breaks the rules or gets flagged by the police, then they get banned from the stadium for life. I think East Bengal and Mohun Bagan should start looking at a system like that. That you make it public that that guy who did this is banned from the stadium forever, and the other fans should be vigilant. You see that guy around, you give him to the police straight away. So lifetime bans should be a thing for people who did this. They have no place, man. If somebody from Mohun Bagan club did something and went ahead and harassed or molested a female East Bengal fan or did property damage at East Bengal, I would not want that guy to be in Mohun Bagan ever. Because he does not understand. He's not fit to be there. I think East Bengal should do the same. I think both clubs should take steps now. This is getting out of hand.
So at a time when we have always talked about that there's a great divide between the aims, the achievements of the clubs. They were united when it came to the ISL merger, when they wanted both the Kolkata clubs, and we saw both clubs coming together and trying to build a solution that was best for the legacy of both clubs. So that was the intention that we've seen from the clubs, that no matter what our cultural differences are, whatever different ways we've gone ahead, but then towards the future of Indian football, we are together. That is an example. That is something that we've seen, we've talked about. That brings great respect for both the clubs. And this is just complete contrast from what we've seen and what we talk about. All right, so that's this first half of this episode was a bit of emotional, a lot of
you know what I thought we would be talking about East Bengal's brilliant win against Taliban Kanjogrogami.
Of course,
and the hat-trick from Village Plaza. and all that win is now nowhere, man. Nobody's talking about it anymore. So you let your players down then by doing this.
Well, the heroics of such great victories they need to be talked about rather than such low incidents. And this is made by themselves. This wasn't caused by natural things. It was triggered. It was thought of. It might not. I think it's ill thought of. It's not even thought of. I hope the sense prevails. I hope there is peace. I hope this edition of the CFL brings all fans together, whichever club you following.
Yeah, but we should be lucky.
Yeah. So let's hope there are better things to talk about. And for this first half, that was it. And on the other side of the break, we will talk about something exciting, something positive, like we always want to talk about. So we have the interview with Aizawl FC's assistant coach, that's Izan Martin, and also we will talk about the squad for Macau that has been announced. So that's all on the other side of the break. We'll catch you guys.
In a world where people are busy playing Mendicoat at Diwali parties, two men decide to go all in the river.
Don't you mean on the river?
On the river.
Oh yeah.
Two men will go where no one has ever gone before, to a studio with no air conditioning or Coke Zero to talk about poker.
Hey, order lo na yaar koi, kya hai ye bakwas?
The SpartanPoker.com presents Mera Kaam Poker, hosted by Azim Banatwala.
The best comedian in the world, according to himself.
And Peter Abraham.
Not related to John.
New episodes out every Wednesday on the IBM podcast app or any other podcasting app you use. And for all our listeners who want to try out their hand at poker, you can log on to thespartanpoker.com, register yourself as a user with the promo code IVM, and you will get 200 bonus cash, which you can use to play poker for free. See you at the tables.
Okay guys, welcome back after the break, and as we promised to you, this is going to be a much more positive half of the episode. So we are talking, Chiranjeev is in conversation with the Aizawl FC assistant coach. His name is Izan Martin, and we did also feature the Aizawl FC young goalkeeper, that's Avinash Paul, in the earlier episode, and also Paulo Menezes, the head coach of Aizawl FC. And today, Chiranjeev brings us a conversation that he had with the assistant coach of Aizawl. Chiranjeev, how was it talking to him?
Well, he's as I told you, a couple of days ago, he's 25 years old, and he's already worked in many different countries with many different teams. And I actually didn't have too much information on him while going into this interview, which is a bit of a rare thing for me. And I was very surprised to learn that he has actually already been in India as an assistant coach before.
Really?
He was working with Kichi FC in Hong Kong, and they were playing in the AFC Cup against East Bengal. So he's got experience in India before. He was talking about how he has been reading upon Indian football before coming in here, and how he's finding this experience of this new league, new kind of football that they're playing. What are the expectations for the upcoming season, and how he's handling his new status as a sex symbol in Aizawl, all of that. So yeah, and when by the way, you can't really see him in the podcast, but oh man, he was blushing when I brought that up. So yeah, it's a great time for him. I can sense that he's enjoying a lot. And he was genuinely excited when he was talking about, playing in I-League, traveling to different parts of the country and seeing all those football cultures. So, great guy, top man to talk to. So let's just head towards the conversation.
So, I mean, you came in at a time when the season was already underway for Aizawl FC, right? And your first time in a new country, in a new culture, and within a couple of days, you have to prepare for a match of arriving, So how does that happen? I mean, anywhere else you would go, you'd probably get a pre-season or a couple of weeks to blend in and get adjusted. So how was that?
I came here one day before a game, but I was talking with the coach, and we are planning before I come. We are planning some things, and I heard all the news about the team and everything. So it's not like one day I had more news and more information about the players before I come. So the first day just see the players, I present myself, and to get used to they see me, and then I start really working in the second match day against Chamari, the full week, and this is my real first week here in Aizawl.
Yeah. So first real week, as in this is already 3 matches into the NPL, right? And already the pressure seems to be building, because 3 draws and there's a 4-point gap between the top and Aizawl FC. How are you adjusting to this entire environment, and is there any pressure? That's on?
No, there is no pressure, because our goal, our target is to reach the playoff. We don't mind. We prefer, of course, be the first, but we don't mind if it's the first or it's the fourth. And now we are 1 point, I think, below the playoff. And our performance can be better, sure, but is going well. It's going better game by game. So we are happy with the style of play. We are happy with the performance. We just need to score more goals than the opponents. But we are in the way to win the games. So we are 50% happy about our performance, because we can do better, but we are in the way to do it.
So just pardon, because I haven't had that much information available about you online, but this partnership with Mr. Meneses, is this ongoing for some time now?
Yeah, I know Paulo, I think 5 or 6 years ago in one club of Madrid, and we are friends of the university. We share a club in Portugal in the second division B, and I work with another coach, a Spanish coach in Hong Kong, and now he has the opportunity to come here to Aizawl, and he needs one assistant coach, and I come here to help him, and of course to help the players to improve. But yeah, I know him very well. I know the way he works, and is so similar to my to my idea about football. So it's so easy to work with him and to work together.
Okay, so this is you have worked together before as well, right?
Yeah, we work in a Madrid club, not in the same team, but in the same club, and then in second division B in Portugal, we work together.
Okay.
But we share many ideas, and it's very easy.
So you have worked in Hong Kong, so you have an idea of the level of play that is there in let's say AFC Cup. Yeah. So just your first few days of impression of the Aizawl FC team. How does this team fare in that level?
Yeah, we play against East Bengal in Kichi, and I had one idea about the Indian teams, because they had so fast wingers, and now I know that Mama, our player, play against us, and we cannot beat them. So I had the impression of very fast team, and now I come to Aizawl, and I have the same impression. Very fast team, very intense, even more than this East Bengal. And I have a good impression about the players, because they are so intense, they are so fast, so skillful, and I think the attitude is very good, and it will be easier to work with them and to improve the team, because if the players want to improve and want to work hard, it's easier for the coaches. Okay. So I have a good first impression about the players and about the team.
So just coming in here, and some other coaches have the same problem when they're coming to work, especially with the clubs from Northeast India. Have you felt any language barrier so far to connect between the players and you?
I think the players want to understand us, and we try to explain us in the best way possible, and we try to understand them. And we have some players, as Mama, for example, or even our director Ming, help us to translate or to explain something to the mates that don't understand well the English or don't understand well something. But I think the communication between the group and the coaches is good and is improving too.
So there are some other coaches who have also been associated with Aizawl FC, especially some of the local coaches. So have you been in conversation with them when taking over and discussing how the players are, or exchanging information about your ideas about certain players or something like that?
Yeah, of course. We work in a technical staff, and everybody has to work together and has to give the opinion. Of course, the most important opinion is the coach's opinion, because he has to decide. But he is doing, I think, a good work. He hears to everybody, he listens to everybody, and it's very important to have as much as point of view as possible, because if you have more information, you can decide better. So I think it's a good attitude about the coach, to hear everybody and then to decide with all information. And the local coaches is very important, his information, because they know much better than us the culture, the previous performance and everything. So it's very important information for us.
So how do you see the campaign is shaping up in Mizoram Premier League? Is there, can the fans hope for a title here?
How can the fans expect about us?
Yeah, I mean, do you think the fans should start hoping for a title in MPL now?
I don't like to talk about titles. Okay. I like to talk about games, and if we win one game is good. But I prefer to draw one game playing well, because it will be better for the future than winning 2 games but playing bad, because maybe you can win 2 games but then you will go worst, because you are winning and you are not doing the things well and you will worst. Now we are happy, we are improving our performance, but I repeat, I don't like to talk about the titles, even more when there is a playoff and this is a knockout stage. So maybe you have very good season in MPL and you have one mistake in one game and you finish your MPL season without the final. So I don't like. I prefer to talk game by game and I hope to reach the playoff and the final and win the title. But I don't like to talk about this.
Okay, so you have already seen, you've been observing the matches in MPL that have been happening. Which teams sort of do you think will give the toughest competition to Aizawl FC?
I think the teams that are in the top positions, is Chingabeng, very very strong team, very organized, good build up, fast in the transitions, good direct play too. Chanmari FC has a good team too. Ramlung and Bedlam. I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah.
But I think
it's the city of Jesus Christ, Bethlehem.
I think we'll be in 5-6 teams, but I think I saw all the teams, and there is no easy teams, because all teams can press you hard, can run a lot. They run a lot, and it's dangerous for us, because in one counter attack they can score you 1-0 and they defend so well. So it will not be easier for us any game. We need to be ready for every game, to every opponent, and I think the hardest opponent will be these teams, 5-6 teams.
So you're playing one level of competition in MPL. I-League, it's going to be a bit different, right? And you're going to have some new players joining. So the players that have already signed for Aizawl FC but are not here yet, are you in touch with them and giving them updates about what they should expect and what they can do already to make their adjustment to the club easier?
They signed when I wasn't here, so was the head coach who spoke with them, who explained better the conditions, the team that we will expect about them. But we are keeping touch with them, and we need to be ready when they come, to prepare the practices, to prepare the plans, because it's difficult for us to share the practices with 4 new players that come without training, with 25 plus 3 goalkeepers that are now training, and they are now in a competition level, So we need to program and plan all the training programs, but it's our job. I think will be good for them, will be good for us, and hope everything will be okay.
Yeah. So you are right now working as a assistant coach, getting I think you have gathered experience from 4-5 countries already. So when you look at Indian football, and I'm not sure if you've been watching other leagues so far. Where do you see this as a good field for young coaches like you to come in and maybe work with some young clubs like Aizawl FC and take them to a new height, something like that?
Yeah, sure. It's a good chance for us. You say I'm young. I'm 25 years old now. I had experience, but I started so early to train. Yeah. I had experience, but I need to take more experience, and I think it's good. I think it's good because these teams have know a lot of background, and I think we can help them to become stronger, to become bigger, but they can help us too to become better coaches, because we need to adapt to new conditions, to different conditions than Spain or Portugal or even Hong Kong, that is closer to here but is different too. And I think it's good for everybody. It's good for the clubs because we can help them to grow, and of course they help us to grow up as coaches.
So most of the European coaches who come to India say one thing about the clubs or the teams here is that they are not as structurally sound as you see in Europe. The players are not scouted when they're 5 years old, and they don't spend 15 years in the system before they come in to play for the first year. Most of them see their first coach when they're like already 15 years old, something like that. So they're not structurally as good as European teams. So when you are coming in with that kind of a quality of football in mind, and you see something very different happening here, how do you mitigate that gap? What you have in mind and what the players can do.
My experience in Hong Kong helped me a lot, because when I was in Spain I thought everything is like Spain and Europe, Yeah. And when I was in Hong Kong it had good structure, but I traveled to Indonesia, to Malaysia, to here India, and I saw different cultures, and this changed my mind and showed me that not every football is like Spain. So I have my mind a little bit changed than before, and I know that there is not the same conditions. What we have to do is to try to help them to have the same conditions as soon as possible, to put, as you say, this structure, this scouting structure, this youth teams structure, and I think it can help them a lot, because the childs and the boys have the quality, our players had quality too, but with a little or a better organized structure can be a great step for them. But it's not as I am in the first time in a different country. I knew something about India, and I expect something similar than I have here.
Okay, so so just getting those players to adapt technically, to get their techniques better and get their basics better, and just elevate their level of game. What kind of a plan do you think coaches should come up with? Because it's not going to happen next day, right? It takes time. So, what kind of do you have any long-term plans in mind for that, or I'm losing my train of thought, but you are coming in with already a set job that you have to go and win the next match, and you have to win this trophy and do well in I-League or whatever. But you can help the players improve their technique if you have a long-term plan in mind.
Yeah.
So is it a dichotomy that happens
always in football?
Or
yes.
An adjustment that you have to make in your job, or targets? So
it's a very good question, because in football you always have to fight between this dichotomy.
Yeah.
The long-term improvement and performance, and short-term.
Yeah.
The Indian players are very good in skills, very good technically. I think we need to put the emphasis in the organization of the team.
Yeah.
Individually they are very good, but they need to understand how to play the player that is close to him, and understand the way everybody play. If 11 players play at the same way, it will be easier. So I think we have to put the accent and the emphasis in this organization, in this, to build a team spirit, And of course, if we can help them to improve in a long term we will do, but we cannot forget the match.
Yeah.
The match is the most important, because there is one thing: if we don't win the first, I don't know, 6, 10, 20 matches, we will be out.
Yeah.
You know, so in football you cannot think in the final of the I-League.
Yeah.
You need to think in the next match, because maybe if you don't think in the next match, you will not reach the last game. So we have to think in game by game, and even more practice than practice is our, not our secret, because everybody knows, but it's our way to work.
Okay. Okay, thank you, coach. Oh, by the way, just to finish off with, you already sort of, after the match, we saw you lining up and all the fans were coming out to shake your hands.
Yeah.
Is this something you have experienced before in other clubs, or is this something new? This passion about the club?
Is in Europe you have this passion, but I didn't work in top European clubs, so
Yeah.
I work in third division in Spain, but there is not as big fans as here. And in Hong Kong there is a lot of fans, but they are more long distance. They are in the tribune, and they don't go back. They don't go down to salute you. And this will, I think, is very good. The fans are crazy about football, and this is a thing that I love, because it's easier to make your work. It was good. I think we can do every game, and even the players, I think, is good. They go to the fans to say hello to them, and thank you. Of course, thank you to see them and to support them.
Oh yeah. So and you have also sort of become a de facto sex symbol in Aizawl. How are you dealing with that? Yeah.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Come
about
on.
that.
Okay, I'll tell you something. After shaking your hand, I heard one girl say, "I'm not gonna wash my hand tonight."
Yeah?
She said that in
No,
Mizo.
don't trust in you. Yeah, I don't understand Mizo. No, sure. No.
So how's that?
I'm impressed now. I'm totally impressed. And maybe my girlfriend don't like this, but I have to. I'm happy, of course, about that. If people say good things about you, it's always good. So I'm happy about that.
Okay, so what's the target for the season?
For the season?
Yeah.
To improve game by game, and to win as much games as possible. And if we win titles, good. Yeah, we cannot promise we will win titles, we will win anything. We can promise we will work hard for the team, for the club, and give 100% in every game and in every practice.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that was some interesting conversation, and yes, as Chiranjit mentioned, we could not see the reactions of the assistant coach when he put up the question, but I'm sure it was fun to talk with him. And
let's just say that I don't really, as a sports journalist, I don't really get to speak to many people about the sex appeal, and it was a very new thing for me as well. So. So some interesting bits added by Chiranjit just makes it all the more exciting to listen to. Alright, that was Izan Martin from Aizawl, the assistant coach. So moving on, yesterday also there was an announcement of the Macau squad for India squad for Macau, yeah.
Yeah, India squad for the Macau game, that is the Asian Cup qualifiers. So the news is Robin Singh has been dropped. We will get into those details tomorrow in depth. So the news also is that the team will be camping in Mumbai. Yay! That's great news for me. So I still get to go and see the practices. And
so that means Tom Stadia is out. So that means if it really happens, it's going to happen in Mumbai again.
Right. So that I hope that happens, because we've still not heard any confirmation on any friendlies that are happening. Now, this has been a great trend that India has played at least one game against any club, any country prior to getting into the AFC, which has served us very well. It helps the coach also to try out his combinations, and most probably this is going to be a full strength squad because there's no league or anything happening. So,
one thing I would like if India doesn't get any country to come and play a friendly with us, I would love to see India.
Why you want to break the trend?
No, but see, we may not play an official match anyway. What if we go and play, let's say, Mumbai City?
You have to have some players from the India squad play on the other side as well then.
No. But they get to play all the foreigners. And we play, it's India versus Mumbai City. It would be interesting. I have always wanted to see, India versus Bengal FC without the India players. That would be very interesting. But again, we are hearing of course, man.
But again, they do not have even 11 foreigners to make up for the entire squad.
But they have 8 foreigners. Let's say you can play 8 foreigners.
You have to play 8 versus 8 game then.
No. 8 foreigners and rest of the Indians.
So then, barring Sunil Chhetri and Udanta, it's difficult to imagine Bengaluru FC without an Indian squad.
Yeah, but everybody else is there, So they're
interesting thought, but it's never going to become a reality.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Great episode. Great fun talking about the developments in Aizawl. The coach, the assistant coach, Izan Martin, and so it's been we almost covered the entire technical squad of Aizawl. Chiranjeev, it was great having you in conversation with them, and also we will just skip the first half of the show. Just close the anger in us. I hope that does not prevail. There's a much more peaceful way to look at the derby.
I just hope nobody goes to jail for too long and nobody dies. That's it. Forget about this. Yeah.
On that note, we will end today's show. We will talk about in detail about the India squad for Macau tomorrow. Till then, guys, if you're listening to us on YouTube, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and you can also download the IVM Podcast app, which is available on Android and iOS. And do not forget to comment and let us know your thoughts on the podcast. Do bear with us because we've not recorded this in the studio. Till another episode, guys. See you. Bye. Take care.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. ATKT.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.